Imagine attending a somber funeral, surrounded by grieving family and friends, only to realize that one of them is a cold-blooded killer, hiding in plain sight. What if the world's greatest detective, Hercule Poirot, was there to unravel the twisted truth? Chapter 1. The Funeral Gathering. Picture this. Folks, it's a misty autumn morning in the quaint English village of Eldridge Hollow. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth and wilting flowers as a procession winds its way to the old stone churchyard. At the center of it all is the coffin of Sir Reginald Harrington, a wealthy industrialist who met his untimely end just days ago under mysterious circumstances. Whispers ripple through the crowd. Was it a heart attack, as the doctor claimed, or something far more sinister? That's where our story begins, with the arrival of the legendary Belgian detective Hercule Poirot, invited by the family to pay his respects, or so they think. Let me set the scene for you properly. Poirot steps off the train at the tiny station, his mustache impeccably waxed, his patent leather shoes gleaming despite the mud. He's accompanied by his faithful friend, Captain Arthur Hastings, who's always a bit flustered but endlessly loyal. Mon ami, Poirot says in that precise accent of his. There is something in the air here that is not just the fog. It is the scent of deception. Hastings nods, though he's more concerned about the chill seeping through his coat. They make their way to Harrington Manor. It's a sprawling estate with ivy-covered walls and secrets lurking in every shadow as they approach. We meet the key players in this drama. First, there's Lady Evelyn Harrington, the widow, elegant in her black veil, but with eyes that dart nervously. She's in her 50s, poised and proper, but Poirot notices the slight tremble in her hands as she greets them. "Monsieur Poirot, how kind of you to come," she says, her voice steady but her grip a tad too tight. Next is Reginald's brother, Victor Harrington, a burly man with a booming laugh that seems forced today. He's the heir apparent set to inherit the family fortune, and he claps Hastings on the back a little too heartily. "Glad you're here, old chap." Reggie would have appreciated it. Then there's Amelia, the daughter, a young woman in her 20s with fiery red hair and a rebellious streak. She's pacing the drawing room, cigarette in hand, muttering about how her father was too stubborn to die naturally. Her fiancé, Dr. Julian Thorpe, the family physician, hovers nearby, trying to calm her. He's calm and collected, the one who signed the death certificate, attributing it to natural causes. But Poirot's little gray cells are already buzzing. Why does the doctor avoid eye contact? We can't forget cousin Beatrice, a spinster aunt who's always been the family's moral compass, clutching her Bible and murmuring prayers. And lastly, there's the enigmatic groundskeeper, old Mr. Finch, who's been with the family for decades, his weathered face hiding who knows what loyalties or grudges. The funeral service unfolds in the ancient church, pews filled with villagers and distant relatives. The vicar drones on about eternal rest, but tension crackles like electricity. Poirot sits in the back, observing everyone. He notes how Victor fidgets with his cufflinks, how Amelia dabs at dry eyes, and how Lady Evelyn's veil can't hide the faint smile that flickers when the coffin is lowered. Hastings leans over. "Seems straightforward, Poirot. Sad but no foul play." Poirot chuckles softly. "Ah, Hastings, you see, but you do not observe. Look at the mourners, each one a potential actor in a play of murder." After the burial, the group returns to the manor for the wake. Tea is served in the grand parlor, with sandwiches and scones that no one touches. Conversations buzz, regrets, memories, and subtle accusations. Victor boasts about expanding the business. Amelia argues about her inheritance. Dr. Thorpe reassures everyone that Sir Reginald's health had been failing. Poirot mingles, his questions polite but probing. "Madame Harrington," he says too. "The widow, tell me, did your husband have any enemies?" She laughs lightly. "In business? Plenty. But here, in our home? No." As the afternoon wears on, Poirot excuses himself to wander the grounds. He examines the study where Sir Reginald was found slumped over his desk, a glass of whiskey spilled nearby. The room is opulent, bookshelves lined with leather-bound volumes, a massive oak desk, and a safe cracked open just a sliver. Poirot's eyes narrow at the faint scratch marks on the lock. Interesting, he murmurs. Hastings joins him. Poison, you think? Poirot shakes his head. Perhaps, but the method is secondary. The motive, that is the key. Back at the wake, tensions rise. Amelia confronts Victor. You always resented father for favoring me. Victor retorts, and you were always the spoiled one, thinking you'd get it all. Lady Evelyn intervenes, but her voice cracks. Beatrice quotes scripture about forgiveness, while Dr. Thorpe suggests everyone calm down. Mr. Finch lurks in the doorway, his eyes sharp. Poirot gathers them all. Mies Amos, I sense unrest. Sir Reginald's death, it was not as natural as it seems. Gasps echo. What do you mean? Demands Victor. Poirot smiles enigmatically. The little details, the untouched whiskey glass with a residue not of alcohol, the will that was revised just last week, and the footprints in the garden mud that matched none of the staff's boots. The room falls silent. Hastings whispers, You've got them hooked, Poirot. Indeed, the detective has begun his web, but the murderer among the mourners is watching. Plotting their next move, this chapter sets the stage with our suspects and the initial mystery, folks. We've introduced the characters, the setting, and that nagging doubt about the death. Stick around because in the next chapter, we'll dive deeper into the clues Poirot uncovers in the manor, revealing secrets that could tear the family apart. Chapter 2. Uncovering the clues all right. Let's pick up right where we left off. The wake at Harrington Manor is winding down, but Poirot's announcement has everyone on edge. The mourners exchange uneasy glances, and the air grows heavier with suspicion. Poirot, ever the master of drama, suggests a thorough examination of the premises. With your permission, Lady Harrington, he says smoothly, I shall inspect the study once more. The truth, it hides in the details. She nods reluctantly, and the group disperses, each retreating to their corners like pieces on a chessboard. Poirot and Hastings return to the study, the room dimly lit by a single lamp casting long shadows. Poirot dons his white gloves, a habit that always amuses Hastings, and begins his meticulous search. He starts with the desk, where Sir Reginald was found. The spilled whiskey glass catches his eye again. Using a small vial from his pocket, he collects a sample of the residue. Hastings, fetch me a magnifying glass for my case. Hastings obliges, and under the lens, Poirot spots tiny crystals that sparkle unnaturally. Not sugar Monet me. This could be poison arsenic, perhaps, or something more exotic. Moving on, Poirot examines the safe. It's ajar, papers scattered inside. He pulls out the will, dated just a week prior. Ah, interesting revisions. Victor inherits the business, but Amelia gets the estate and Lady Evelyn, a generous allowance. With conditions, Hastings whistles. Motive aplenty. Poirot nods, then notices a faint footprint on the carpet, partially obscured by the rug. He measures it carefully, size 9 male with a worn heel. Not Sir Reginald's. They venture outside to the garden, following those mysterious footprints in the mud. The trail leads to a greenhouse, overgrown with vines. Inside, Poirot finds a discarded glove, stained with soil and something sticky, perhaps the same residue. From the glass, the murderer came this way, avoiding the main paths. Hastings shivers. But who and why? Poirot smiles. Patience. Let us question the suspects one by one. Back inside, Poirot starts with Mr. Finch, the groundskeeper in the kitchen. Finch is polishing tools, his hands calloused. Been here 40 years, he grumbles. Sir Reginald was fair, but demanding. Poirot probes. Did you see anyone in the garden that night? Finch hesitates. Maybe a shadow near the study window? Thought it was the wind? Poirot notes the man's boots, size 10, not a match. Next, Cousin Beatrice in the library, her Bible open. Evil lurks, she whispers. Reginald sinned in business shady deals. Poirot raises an eyebrow. And you disapproved? She nods fervently. But murder, the Lord forbids it. Yet Poirot spots ink stains on her fingers, recent, as if she'd been writing letters. Dr. Thorpe is in the drawing room, sipping tea. As his doctor, I assure you, it was his heart, Poirot counters. But the symptoms, frothing at the mouth, convulsions, suggest poison. Thorpe pales. I may have missed that his shoes? Size 9, but pristine. Amelia is in her room, packing a suitcase. I'm leaving this madhouse, she snaps. Poirot asks about the will. Father promised me everything, then changed it, her alibi. With Thorpe all evening. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But Poirot sees a muddy hem on her dress. Victor in the billiard room, chalking a cue. Nonsense about poison? He was old. Poirot mentions the footprint. Victor laughs. I wear 11s. But his cufflinks bear scratches, like from forcing a safe. Lady Evelyn, last, in her boudoir. My husband and I, we argued often, tears well up, but kill him? Never. Poirot notices a vial on her dresser medicine, she claims, as night falls. Poirot confides in Hastings. Each has secrets, but the puzzle pieces fit slowly. Scream echoes someone has tampered with the evidence. We've peeled back layers here, revealing clues and alibis that don't quite add up. The poison, the footprints, the will, it's all building tension. In the next chapter, a shocking discovery in the greenhouse will point fingers and force confessions. Escalating the hunt for the killer? Chapter 3. The greenhouse revelation, the scream that pierces the night, sends everyone scrambling toward the greenhouse. Poirot and Hastings lead the charge, their footsteps crunching on the gravel path. Misty air feels heavier now, as if the manor itself is holding its breath. When they reach the greenhouse, its glass panes fogged and vines curling like fingers, they find Amelia standing inside, her face pale, pointing at a crumpled figure on the floor. It's Mr. Finch, the groundskeeper, unconscious, a shovel clutched in his hand and a smear of blood on his temple. The mourners gather, gasping, as Poirot kneels beside the old man. He lives, Poirot announces, checking Finch's pulse. But someone wished him otherwise. The greenhouse is a jungle of overgrown ferns and roses, the air thick with the scent of damp soil and decay. A single lantern swings overhead, casting eerie shadows. Poirot's sharp eyes scan the area. He spots the glove he found earlier, now joined by a broken vial on the ground, its contents spilled into the dirt. The same residue as the whiskey glass, he murmurs, collecting a sample. Hastings asks, Who'd attack Finch? He says, The groundskeeper. Poirot's mustache twitches. Mon ami, no one is just anything in a murder. Dr. Thorpe pushes through, kneeling to tend to Finch. He's concussed. But he'll recover, he says. His hands steady, but his brow furrowed. Poirot watches. Doctor, you are quick to assist, yet perhaps you know more about this attack. Thorpe bristles. I'm a physician, not a criminal. But Poirot notes a tremor in his voice. Lady Evelyn wrings her hands, her veil askew. This is madness, First Reginald. Now poor Finch. Victor mutters, probably caught the old man. Stealing tools. Amelia snaps. Don't be absurd, Victor. Finch was loyal. Cousin Beatrice, clutching her Bible, whispers, the wages of sin is death. Poirot ignores the bickering, focusing on a trail of disturbed soil leading to a workbench. There. Under gardening gloves, he finds a notebook. Its pages filled with cryptic numbers and initials RHVHAH Sir Reginald's. Hastings wonders. Poirot shakes his head. Perhaps. Or the killer's ledger. Finch stirs, groaning. Poirot seizes the moment. Monsieur Finch, what happened here? The groundskeeper's eyes flutter open. Saw ... Someone digging. Near the roses? Tried to stop M. His voice fades, and Thorpe insists he rest. Poirot examines the rosebed Finch mentioned. The soil is freshly turned, and after digging with a trowel, he uncovers a small metal box, locked tight. The mourners gasp. What's that? Amelia demands. Poirot's eyes gleam. A secret, mademoiselle, that someone was desperate to keep buried. Back in the parlor, Poirot gathers everyone, the box on the table like a challenge. This may hold the key to Sir Reginald's death and tonight's attack. Victor scoffs, probably just old love letters. But his fingers drum nervously. Lady Evelyn's gaze lingers on the box, her lips tight. Amelia says, "Open it, then." Poirot shakes his head. Not yet. Lock requires a key. Or a skilled hand. I suspect the one who attacked Finch knows where it is. Poirot questions Amelia first. "You were first to the greenhouse. Why?" She hesitates. "I needed air. Couldn't stay in the house." Her muddy dress hem catches Poirot's eye. Victor claims he was in the billiard room, unconfirmed. Lady Evelyn says she was in her boudoir alone. Beatrice insists she was praying, but her ink-stained fingers suggest otherwise. Thorpe, flustered, says he was checking his medical bag. Poirot paces. The notebook, the box, the attack, they are connected. Someone knows what Finch saw, and they struck to silence him. He pauses, eyeing each face. And I believe the answer lies in what? Sir Reginald hid perhaps a scandal, a debt, or a betrayal. Hastings whispers, "You're stirring the pot, Poirot." The tension is palpable, each mourner shifting uncomfortably. As the group disperses, Poirot confides in Hastings. "The box is our next clue, but we must tread carefully." The murderer is growing bold. He slips the notebook into his pocket, determined to decode its secrets. Outside, the fog thickens, mirroring the mystery closing in. Chapter 4. Decoding the Notebook. The fog outside Harrington Manor thickens, wrapping the estate in a shroud of mystery. But inside, Hercule Poirot's mind is crystal clear. After the greenhouse attack, he retreats to the study with Hastings, the cryptic notebook in hand. The mourners are restless, their alibis shaky and secrets bubbling closer to the surface. Poirot sits at Sir Reginald's desk, the lamplight glinting off his polished shoes. "Mon ami," he says to Hastings, "this notebook is no mere diary. It is a map to the murderer's motive." Hastings leans over, puzzled. "Numbers and initials. Looks like gibberish to me." Poirot's eyes twinkle. To the untrained eye, perhaps. But to Poirot, it is a symphony waiting to be played. The study is quiet, save for the tick of a grandfather clock. The notebook lies open, its pages filled with rows of numbers, dates. Sums and initials like RH, VH, AH, and JT. Poirot traces a finger over the entries. "These are transactions," he declares. "Debts, payments, perhaps bribes." He cross-references dates with a calendar. This entry, RH2JT 5000, 3rd August, just days before Sir Reginald's death. Hastings frowns. J2 Dr. Thorpe. Poirot nods. "Possibly. Or another player we have yet to meet." Poirot decodes the pattern. The sums are large, some marked paid, others owed. One entry stands out, VH 10,000 urgent. Poirot taps it. "Victor, perhaps in financial trouble?" Hastings suggests. "Blackmail?" Poirot pulls out a pencil to sketch a timeline. The will changed a week ago. The debts align. Someone was desperate. Lady Evelyn knocks, her face pale. "Monsieur Poirot, must you pry into our private affairs?" Poirot smiles. When murder is afoot, nothing is private." She mentions a missing key to the metal box from the greenhouse. Reginald kept it on his watch. "Chain, but it's gone." Poirot's eyes narrow. "Stolen, perhaps by the same hand that struck Finch." In Sir Reginald's bedroom, they find the chain, but the key is missing. Hastings spots a torn paper under the rug, with BL and a phone number. "Another clue?" he asks. Poirot pockets it, perhaps a creditor or a conspirator. Poirot confronts Victor in the library, pouring brandy. "Victor, your brother lent you money, a significant sum?" Victor's glass pauses. "Business ventures." Reggie was generous, but his eyes dart to the door. Poirot presses, "And if he demanded repayment?" Victor laughs too loud. "He wouldn't, family, you know." Poirot notes the sweat on his brow. Amelia, in the conservatory, sketches angrily. "My father was no saint," she snaps when shown the notebook. "He controlled us with money she denies knowing about the debts, but admits to overhearing arguments between Reginald and Thorpe. Act. Julian was always asking for funds for the clinic. Her sketch is of a key shaped like the missing one, cousin Beatrice. Praying in the chapel flushes when shown the notebook's BL absurd. I have no dealings in such matters. Her ink-stained fingers tremble. Dr. Thorpe in the dining room polishes his glasses nervously. JT, Dr. Poirot says. Your initials and a payment of 5,000? Thorpe stammers. Research funds? Reginald supported my work. Poirot tilts his head. Yet you certified his death as natural, despite signs of poison. Thorpe's face reddens, insisting he's innocent. At midnight, Poirot gathers everyone in the parlor. This notebook reveals Sir Reginald's web of financial control. Debts tied to each of you, Victor, Amelia, perhaps Dr. Thorpe, and someone desperate to escape this web turned to murder.
Oh.
Victor accuses Amelia of greed. She fires back about his gambling. Lady Evelyn pleads for calm, while Beatrice mutters about divine judgment. Poirot quiets them. The key to the box remains missing, but the notebook has spoken. Tomorrow, we shall open that box and uncover the truth it guards. He dismisses them, noticing a shadow outside the window, someone eavesdropping. In the study, Poirot confides. In Hastings. The notebook points to motive, but the key will unlock proof. We must find it before the murderer does. Hastings yawns. Can't we sleep, Poirot? Poirot chuckles. Sleep, mon ami? Not when the killer is awake. Chapter 5. The key to betrayal. The night at Harrington Manor grows darker. The fog pressing against the windows like a silent conspirator. Hercule Poirot paces the study. The notebook in his pocket, and his mind fixed on the missing key to the greenhouse's metal box. Hastings, stifling a yawn, follows him to the drawing room, where the mourners sit uneasily. Poirot's presence commands attention. Mies Amos, he says, the key to the box is the key to the truth. One of you knows where it lies. Air crackles with tension. The drawing room is dimly lit, candles casting shadows on the wallpaper. Lady Evelyn sits on a sofa, hands clasped. Victor nurses a whiskey. Amelia paces by the fireplace. Dr. Thorpe adjusts his tie. Beatrice stares into the distance. The metal box sits on the coffee table, taunting them. Poirot stands by the hearth, his gaze sweeping over each face. Madame Harrington. Poirot begins. You mentioned the key was on Sir Reginald's watch chain, yet it vanished. Did you see anyone near his body? Lady Evelyn shakes her head. No, I was too distraught. Poirot turns to Amelia. Mademoiselle, your sketch of a key, curiously like the one we seek. Amelia flushes, tossing her cigarette into the fire. It's just a drawing. Her voice wavers. Victor interrupts, slamming his glass down. Enough games, Poirot. Poirot raises an eyebrow. Trouble, Monsieur Victor? Or truth? Your debts suggest motive. Victor reddens. Beatrice gasps. You dare accuse us of sin? Poirot counters. And you, mademoiselle, with your ink-stained fingers BL in the notebook? A secret correspondence? Beatrice mutters. I wrote no such thing. Dr. Thorpe clears his throat. This is preposterous. Poirot steps closer. Yet your initials J.T. appear in the notebook tied to a large sum. Thorpe's jaw tightens. Poirot produces the scrap of paper with BL and a phone number. This number belongs to a solicitor, Mr. Bernard Langley. I telephoned. Him. The room freezes. Langley confirms he drafted a new will, one that threatened to cut someone out. Amelia snaps, who? Poirot replies, the solicitor refused to disclose details without the key. Ah! A clatter breaks the silence, lady. Evelyn drops her teacup, shattering it. I can't bear this, she whispers, confessing. I took the key. From Reginald's chain, after he died? She pulls a small key from her reticule. The room erupts. Victor shouts, You hid it? Amelia lunges, restrained by Hastings. Beatrice murmurs prayers. Thorpe looks away. Poirot unlocks the box, revealing a codicil to the will dated the day before Reginald's death. He reads, To my family, Chapter 6. The solicitor's secret, the morning sun barely pierces the fog blanketing Harrington Manor. But inside, The atmosphere is electric with anticipation. Hercule Poirot has summoned Mr. Bernard Langley, the London solicitor, to the manor to shed light on the codicil found in the metal box. The mourners are gathered in the grand dining room, their faces a mix of dread and curiosity. As Poirot prepares to unravel a secret from the past that could crack the case wide open, Hastings, ever by his side, whispers this Langley fellow. "Better have answers, Poirot." Poirot's mustache twitches. "Mon ami, he will reveal more than he intends, I assure you." The stage is set for a revelation that will shake the foundations of the Harrington family. Picture the dining room. A long mahogany table gleams under a chandelier, its crystals catching the weak daylight. Lady Evelyn sits at one end, her hands folded tightly, her black veil replaced by a somber gray dress.
Ow.
Victor slouches in a chair, his tie loosened, a scowl etched on his face. Amelia, restless, taps her foot, her eyes darting to the door. Dr. Thorpe adjusts his glasses, attempting calm, while Cousin Beatrice clutches her Bible, her lips moving silently. The metal box and notebook sit on the table, silent witnesses to the unfolding drama. The door opens, and Mr. Langley enters, a thin man in his 60s, with wire-rimmed spectacles and a briefcase clutched like a shield. "Monsieur Poirot," he says, his voice clipped, "I came as requested, though I must protest this intrusion." Poirot bows slightly. "Monsieur Langley, your presence is essential. The codicil you drafted for Sir Reginald holds the key to his murder." Langley stiffens, but takes a seat as Poirot begins. "Monsieur Langley," Poirot says, holding up the scrap of paper with BL and the phone number, "your initials, we. You were in contact with Sir Reginald before his death?" Langley nods cautiously. "He consulted me about revising his will. He suspected ... disloyalty." The mourners shift uncomfortably. Poirot presses, and this codicil, threatening to disinherit Victor Y. Langley hesitates, glancing at Victor, who glares back. Sir Reginald discovered Victor had been selling company secrets to a rival firm, Langley reveals. He was furious, ready to cut him out entirely. Victor leaps to his feet. Lies. "I'd never betray Reggie." But his voice cracks, and Poirot notes the sweat on his brow. Amelia scoffs. "You've always been greedy, Victor." Lady Evelyn interjects. "Enough, both of you." Poirot raises a hand for silence. "Monsieur Langley, there is more?" Notebook mentions BL in connection with a payment. "Explain." Langley's composure falters. I advised Sir Reginald on certain financial matters. He paid me for discretion." Poirot's eyes narrow. "Discretion about what? A scandal, perhaps?" Langley swallows hard. "Reginald had a son, born out of wedlock decades ago. He kept it secret, but recently the son resurfaced, demanding money." The room gasps. Lady Evelyn covers her mouth, Amelia freezes, and Victor's face drains of color. "Who is this son?" Poirot demands. Langley hesitates, then says he. "Goes by the name James Turner, J.T., in the notebook." All eyes turn to Dr. Thorpe, whose initials match. Thorpe stammers, "This is absurd. I'm no bastard son." But his hands shake, and Poirot notes a flicker of fear in his eyes. "Then why?" Poirot asks. "Did Sir Reginald pay you £5,000 just days before his death?" Thorpe insists. "For my clinic, as I said." But the room is unconvinced. Chapter 7. The attic encountered. The fog around Harrington Manor lingers, casting an eerie pall over the estate as noon approaches. Hercule Poirot, fueled by the solicitor's revelations, is now obsessed with uncovering the identity of James Turner, the mysterious son of Sir Reginald. The mourners are on edge, their secrets unraveling with each passing hour. Poirot, with Captain Hastings trailing behind, decides to explore the manor's attic, suspecting it holds forgotten relics of the Harrington family's past. "Mon ami," Poirot says, his eyes gleaming. "The attic is where secrets go to hide, but they cannot escape." Hercule Poirot. Hastings, clutching a flashlight, mutters, "I hope it's just dust up there, not more trouble." But trouble. as always, finds them in the form of a dangerous encounter that brings Poirot closer to the killer. Let's set the scene. The attic is reached by a creaking staircase behind a heavy oak door. The air is musty, thick with the scent of old wood and mothballs. Cobwebs drape across trunks, crates, and forgotten furniture. Illuminated by slivers of light sneaking through a cracked skylight, Poirot, ever meticulous, steps carefully, his cane tapping the floorboards. Hastings sweeps the flashlight, revealing dusty portraits and stacks of yellowed letters. "Looks like a museum," Hastings says, sneezing. Poirot chuckles. A museum. Of motives, perhaps? They begin their search, sifting through old documents. Poirot uncovers a photo album, its pages brittle. Inside are faded pictures of a young Reginald with a woman-not lady, Evelyn smiling at a seaside cottage. A child, no older than 5, stands between them, labeled James, 1895. Poirot's eyes narrow. This could be our James Turner. Grown now and seeking his birthright, Hastings nods. Where is he and why murder? Further digging reveals a bundle of letters tied with twine, addressed to B.L., not Beatrice, but Bess Langley, dated decades ago. The letters from Reginald speak of love and regret, hinting at a secret child hidden to protect the family name. Bess Langley, Poirot muses, perhaps the solicitor's sister or cousin. This explains the B.L. in the notebook. Hastings frowned. So Bernard Langley covered it up? Poirot nods. Or profited from it. Their search is interrupted by a soft crick-a-loose floorboard or something more sinister. Hastings swings the flashlight, catching a glint of metal in the shadows. Before he can react, a figure lunges, knocking the flashlight from his hand. A struggle ensues, and Poirot ducks as a heavy candlestick swings toward him, crashing into a crate. Hastings tackles the figure, revealing Dr. Thorpe, his face contorted with panic. "I wasn't going to hurt you," Thorpe gasps, pinned down. "I was just, looking for something." Poirot, unruffled, adjusts his tie. "Looking for what, doctor? Evidence to destroy?" Thorpe stammers. "Old medical records, Reginald's. They'd prove his heart condition." But Poirot spots a small key in Thorpe's pocket, identical to the one Lady Evelyn surrendered. "Another key?" Poirot asks, plucking it out. Thorpe's eyes widen. "I found it in the study." Poirot's mustache twitches. "Or stole it. To open the box before we did." They escort Thorpe downstairs to the parlor, where the mourners wait, summoned by the commotion. Amelia glares. "What now, Poirot?" Victor scoffs. Thorpe, skulking in the attic. Pathetic. Lady Evelyn looks faint, while Beatrice murmurs. Chapter 8. The trap is set. The tension at Harrington Manor is palpable. The fog outside mirroring the cloud of suspicion within. Hercule Poirot, now armed with the attic's revelations, the photo of a young James Turner, the letters to Bess, Langley, and the arsenic in Dr. Thorpe's bag decides it's time to force the killer's hand. The mourners are fraying, their alibis crumbling under Poirot's relentless scrutiny. In the library, surrounded by towering bookshelves, Poirot confides in Hastings. "Mon ami." The murderer grows reckless. "We shall set a trap, using the codicil and notebook as bait." Hastings, rubbing his hands nervously, says, "A trap? Hope it doesn't backfire, Poirot." Poirot's eyes gleam. It will not, for the little gray cells are never wrong. Let's paint the scene. The library is a cavern of knowledge with leather-bound volumes and a roaring fire casting a warm glow. The metal box, notebook, and codicil sit on a polished table guarded by Poirot's watchful eye. The mourners are summoned, their faces a mix of exhaustion and dread. Lady Evelyn twists a handkerchief. Victor grips a cigar. Amelia lights another cigarette. Dr. Thorpe adjusts his glasses. Beatrice clutches her Bible. Mr. Langley, the solicitor, shifts uneasily. Poirot stands before them, his voice steady. "Mies Amos. Tonight, we end this charade. The killer is among us, and I shall draw them out." Poirot begins by laying out the bait. "The codicil," he says, holding it up, threatens to disinherit Victor for his betrayal selling secrets. The notebook reveals debts and payments, including to J.T., perhaps Dr. Thorpe, or James Turner, the secret son. He pauses, eyeing Thorpe, who flinches. The arsenic found in the doctor's bag, matches the residue in Sir Reginald's whiskey. Gasps ripple through the room. Thorpe protests, "I told you, it's medical." Poirot ignores him, continuing, "Tonight, I will leave the codicil and notebook here, unguarded. The killer, desperate to destroy evidence, will come." The mourners exchange glances, each suspecting the other. Amelia snaps, "You're playing with fire, Poirot." Victor growls, "This is nonsense." Lady Evelyn pleads, "Can't we end this?" But Poirot is resolute. "Return to your rooms. Shh. I shall watch from the shadows." He dismisses them, but not before slipping a note to Hastings. "Stay near. The door, mon ami, be ready." As night falls, Poirot and Hastings hide in a corner of the library, concealed behind a heavy curtain. The fire dwindles to embers, and the manor grows silent. Hours pass, the clock ticking toward midnight. Then, a soft creak, the library door opens. A figure slips in, cloaked in shadow, moving toward the table. Hastings grips Poirot's arm, but Poirot whispers, "Patience." The figure reaches for the notebook, their hand trembling. Poirot steps out, his voice sharp. "Stop, monsieur, or madame. The trap is sprung." Now, the figure spins, revealed as Cousin Beatrice, her face pale. The notebook clutched in her hands. I wasn't stealing," she stammers. "I just wanted to protect the family." Poirot's eyes narrow. "Protect, mademoiselle? Or destroy evidence of your role?" Beatrice collapses into a chair, sobbing. "I wrote to Reginald, warning him about Victor's dealings. I used BL to hide my identity, but I didn't. Kill him." Before Poirot can press further, a second figure emerges from the shadows, Victor, holding a poker from the fireplace. "Enough of this," he roars, lunging toward Beatrice. Hastings tackles him, the poker clattering to the floor. The commotion draws the others, who rush in, shouting. Lady Evelyn cries, "Victor, what are you doing?" Amelia screams, "He's the killer." Thorpe tries to calm the chaos. Chapter 9. The hidden letter. The air in Harrington Manor is thick with suspicion. The fog outside now a mere backdrop to the storm brewing within. Hercule Poirot, having sprung his trap in the library, is closer than ever to unmasking Sir Reginald's killer, but the elusive James Turner, potentially the secret son, remains a shadow. The mourners are unraveling, their nerves frayed by Poirot's relentless pursuit. Determined to find the final piece of the puzzle, Poirot decides to search Sir Reginald's private study once more, suspecting a hidden letter that could confirm Turner's identity. "Mon ami," he tells Hastings, his voice low, "the truth lies in what has been concealed, not destroyed." Hastings, weary but loyal, sighs. Let's hope it's a letter, not another attack. The stage is set for a discovery that will bring the investigation to a thrilling climax. Picture the study, a sanctuary of dark wood paneling, shelves heavy with books, and a massive desk cluttered with papers. The faint scent of whiskey lingers, a reminder of Sir Reginald's final moments. Poirot, his white gloves pristine, moves with precision, his cane tapping softly. Hastings holds a lamp, casting light on dusty corners. "We've searched this room before," Hastings grumbles. Poirot's mustache twitches. "Not thoroughly enough, mon ami." The heart of a man's secrets lies where he spends his hours. Poirot begins at the desk, rifling through drawers already examined. He pauses at a locked compartment, its keyholes scratched likely from the same tool that marked the safe. Curious, he murmurs, producing a small pick from his pocket. With a deft twist, the lock clicks open, revealing a hidden panel. Inside is a single envelope, sealed, addressed to my son. J.T. Hastings gasps. "James Turner. We've found him." Poirot's eyes gleam. "Not yet. But this letter will speak." They open it carefully. The letter, in Reginald's elegant script, reads, "My dear James, I have wronged you by my silence. Your mother, Bess, loved you fiercely, as do I. I paid Langley to protect you, but your demands threaten our family. Meet me at the manor, and we shall settle this. Forgive me." The date is the day before Reginald's death. Hastings whistles. So James was here. Poirot nods, and someone ensured he never left. Poirot's search continues, his focus now on a bookshelf. with a false panel he noticed earlier. Behind it, he finds a small ledger, separate from the notebook, listing payments to JT. Over years, ending abruptly a month ago, Reginald stopped paying, Poirot says. Perhaps James, enraged, turned to poison. Hastings frowns. But where is he, Thorpe? Poirot shakes his head. The doctor is a suspect, but we must confirm. They summoned the Mourners to the drawing room, the letter and ledger in hand. The room is tense, the chandelier's light flickering over. Anxious faces. Lady Evelyn sits rigid. Victor puffs a cigar. Amelia paces. Dr. Thorpe fidgets. Beatrice prays softly, and Langley looks cornered. Poirot holds up the letter. Mise Amis is Sir Reginald's confession to his son, James Turner. Yes. He was here the night before the murder. He pauses, watching their reactions. Thorpe's face pales, Victor's cigar trembles, and Amelia's eyes narrow. Dr. Thorpe, Poirot says, your initials JT appear in the ledger and notebook. Are you James Turner? Thorpe leaps up, voice cracking. You know, I'm Julian Thorpe, born in Leeds. Chapter 10. The killer unmasked the fog around Harrington. Manor seems to hold its breath as Hercule Poirot prepares for the final act of this deadly drama. The clues, the notebook, the codicil, the arsenic, the hidden letter, and Langley's. Muddy shoes have woven a tight web, and now Poirot is ready to ensnare the murderer. The mourners, exhausted and fearful, are summoned to the grand parlor, where the truth will finally emerge. Poirot stands by the fireplace, his small frame radiating authority, the notebook and letter in hand. Hastings at his side whispers, "This is it, Poirot. You've got them cornered." Poirot's mustache twitches. Oui, mon ami, the little gray cells have done their work. The killer cannot hide any longer. The stage is set for a dramatic unmasking that will shock the Harrington family to its core. Picture the parlor, grand room with velvet drapes, a roaring fire, and a crystal chandelier casting light on the tense faces of the mourners. Lady Evelyn sits rigidly, her eyes haunted. Victor slumps in an armchair, his cigar unlit. Amelia leans against a wall, her cigarette unlit, her defiance fading. Dr. Thorpe adjusts his glasses, sweat beading on his brow. Cousin Beatrice clutches her Bible, her lips silent for once. Mr. Langley, the solicitor, fidgets with his briefcase, his composure gone. The metal box, notebook, letter, and arsenic vial rest on a table. Silent accusers in the flickering light. Poirot begins, his voice calm but commanding. Mise Amis, we have journeyed through a maze of deceit, debts, betrayals, and a secret. Son, Sir Reginald's death was no accident, but a calculated murder by poison. He holds up the vial. Arsenic, found in the whiskey glass, the greenhouse, and Dr. Thorpe's bag. Thorpe starts to protest, but Poirot silences him with a glance. Let us reconstruct the crime, step by step, to reveal the murderer among you. He starts with the notebook. Sir Reginald controlled his family with money debts to Victor, payments to Dr. Thorpe, and secrets kept by Mr. Langley. The codicil threatened Victor's inheritance for selling company secrets. Victor shifts uncomfortably, but Poirot continues. The letter to James Turner, the secret son, reveals a man demanding his share, met by Reginald the night before his death. He pauses, eyeing the group. But who is James Turner, and why murder? Poirot turns to the footprints. Size 9 worn heel, found in the garden, match Mr. Langley's shoes. You admitted meeting James Turner, monsieur, to negotiate. Did you kill to protect your profits? Langley shakes his head frantically. No, I only spoke to him. Poirot nods. I believe you. You are a pawn, not the king. Next, he addresses Beatrice. Mademoiselle, you used BL to warn Reginald of Victor's betrayal, hiding your identity. Did you poison him to punish his sins? Beatrice gasps. Never. I sought only to save his soul. Poirot's eyes soften. Your zeal is sincere, but not murderous. He turns to Amelia. Mademoiselle, your anger at your father's control was fierce. The vial in your suitcase planted, you claim? Your sketch of the key suggests you knew more. Amelia snaps. I didn't kill him. I just wanted freedom. Poirot nods. Your rebellion is not murder. Victor is next. Monsieur, your debts and betrayal gave you motive. You attacked Beatrice in the library to destroy the codicil. Did you also poison your brother? Victor roars. I'm no killer. I just wanted my share. Poirot's gaze is steady. Your greed is clear, but your hands are not stained with arsenic. Finally,